Hi, my name is Patrick Mills Miller. I'm a Zimbabwean gamer, playwright, and public advocacy consultant.
Hey Patrick,
Hi,
how's it
welcome
going?
to my humble abode. It's like, in as much as I'm living in a place where people might consider as a ghetto, but look at what I have around me, what I've managed to do within the space that I am. So these are some of the stories, so this is my ghetto story. So these are the stories that I do want to also start seeing being pushed out there, to say that it's not the end, being south of some water. You can actually do something, be something whilst you are in the deep south, and also influence the north.
Sign up.
In the dark, waiting for the end. I thought I'd never make it. And I was once a butterfly, wings clipped, colors faded. Voice failing, cries unheard. From what was love, sympathy emerged. Forced to hide, I blended. I hid, got lost, I faded. In the distant shadows, a shimmer of strength. My feet tingling, shackles unchained. Shackles unchained. I found myself remembering all that you said in the voice of an angel. Mama said, let there be light, child of the sun, and lives by the water's deep. Let there be light, child of the sun, lives by the water's deep. Breaking light,
Hey, how's it going? Alright, so welcome to Adbeni. So, funny enough, a lot of people think that Adbeni is mostly industrial area, because people know the industries where you have your canes, willets, and they just assume no one believes you. But this is where I was born and raised, on this very house that I now own, that I inherited.
Oh, my Sharon's married.
50. Let me see how much I've got.
No, let me pay.
Okay. Saying the issue of activism has always been at the back of my mind, because I feel like I am part of the so-called lost generation, because there was so much hope for us in this space. Like, growing up in the 90s, the country was very different. There was so much hope, and in the 90s, and then come 2000 and everything just went to shit. So, and this was pretty much when some of us were now starting high school. So that's when we're still now experiencing some hectic hardships, especially in this place. And also for me, that's when I lost my mom, who was the only parent that I knew. So now I was now officially, part of the kids that are now orphans in this neighborhood, because I've seen people not make it, people being stuck. As you can see, people at the corner doing the most, and it's not something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So it's one of those things that actually pushed me to want to be better. And for some time, I actually left at Benny for a few years in high school to be elsewhere. I think it was necessary for me to leave so that I can experience life outside of this community, to be able to make something of myself. Because I don't even know where this feeling came from, where I felt that if I stayed too long in this place, or if I spent my high school years in this space, I wouldn't finish. Because I'm actually one of the few people my age in this neighborhood that did finish high school. So I guess you can see just how sometimes life in this space can be crazy. Gaming got me through depression, got me through times when I felt I was lost, I didn't have anyone to talk to. So for me, it was now that safe space where I can be anything I want to be, no one is judging me, and to then also start creating other communities online, because I never thought I'd be, or the whole online gamers, because I used to judge, like, oh my goodness, you meet psychos on there. But funny enough, through online gaming, I made it through COVID-19, the lockdown, because now I could connect with some other friends of mine who were not in the space where I was at, because I was alone where I was during COVID-19. I think I would have lost my mind. Being stuck in a foreign country, you're on your own, you don't know what's going on. The government there is just being crazy. My own government, no plan, and I'm just wondering like what's next. But then playing games online with other people, it was made me feel like I'm not on my own. I can make it through. So I was like, wouldn't it be fun to have a place where people can just come through, have fun, and then leave feeling better, not like, oh my goodness, I won, the button mashers challenge or that kind of thing, because like button mashing is not about gaming up. No, it's about just being at peace, finding those safe spaces for non-gamers, queer people, women especially, because I want a space where I can see more women and female gamers in there, because there's not enough spaces that are safe enough for female gamers. Because somehow whenever a female gamer gets into a space when it comes to gaming, for some reason all of a sudden the space just changes, becomes misogynistic, becomes sexist. I don't know why it's such a thing, but I've seen it happen enough times in the gaming groups that I'm in where all of a sudden if a woman enters the group, all of a sudden the stories are now about sex, they're now about but I'm like, we were talking just gaming, but now just because there's a chick in here. So I now want spaces where people don't have to go through that. So that's why the gaming hub is there. So that's kind of part of it. And then the other part is like, I want to do research on gaming because it's a growing market here on the continent. Itemba is an organization I started in 2014. It started because during that time, most of the times we would go through the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. Most of the spaces would just have, older married people, and they were not really safe spaces for young people and married people, queer individuals to actually talk about and unpack their experiences regarding gender-based violence. So that's was the original idea that brought together Project Itemba. So on that, we had a hybrid type of concert in November where we had music, poetry, and theater to sort of have young people come together and start talking about their experiences with it. Because for me, I realized that it's not only married people that are experiencing GBV, and it's not only heterosexual people that are experiencing GBV, but we needed a space where we can start talking about it. So I can pat myself on the back to say I was doing safe spaces since 2014 before anybody else was doing safe spaces, but now you can't throw a book without hitting someone's safe space. And I shall not get into those politics. And over the years, it has grown, with the support of my friends that were there from the very start. Who were, yes, Vera was there from the very start. And her first song to be recorded was done for Project Itemba in 2014, Right Men. So it has a special place in my heart because, it was, I guess, sort of like the theme song for that particular thing. And then over the years, Project Itemba has grown. We've done some activities, orphanages, fundraising for solar, and all of those other things. And for me, I then started sort of building on top of those things to kind of get to a point where I have an organization that is speaking towards economic empowerment, social development of young people, but also people that are part of minority groups, because I am part of a minority within a minority. And I was like, well, if no one is talking about my stories, if no one is dealing with my struggles, I might as well deal with my struggles through this organization and help others do that. So through Project Itemba, we then gave birth to the Gaming Hub, we gave birth to the Writers Cafe, which was, sort of like an AA meeting for writers, because as a writer myself, I was just procrastinating, going through stuff, and I was like, wouldn't it be fun? Because most of my ideas are always come from this whole question of wouldn't it be fun? And then I then get to the next thing. I want to also create something that would outlive me and also help other generations. No matter how problematic some other people might see my work, but I'm I want it to be bigger than Zim, bigger than Africa. I also want to be a missionary in Europe, to bring, the light to the north. Those type of thing. I'm yeah, why not? Why not? I'm capable of doing it. Let me also create a fund. But no, we want to fund Europeans. We want to do this. Let's give them also scholarships. Why should we be the ones being given scholarships? Which is ironic for someone who's been living on scholarships for forever. But I also want to be giving out scholarships, to also for people from the north to come this side and actually get to see the real side, the real stories on the continent, the real stories in Zim, and not just think that, we are, just backward, we are just forever suffering, forever. I don't know. Because in as much as I'm living in a place where people might consider as a ghetto, but look at what I have around me, what I've managed to do within the space that I am. So these are some of the stories, so this is my ghetto story. So these are the stories that I do want to also start seeing being pushed out there, to say that it's not the end, being south of Samora. You can actually do something, be something whilst you are in the deep south, and also influence the north.
Beautiful.